Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. It is July 25th, 2024, and the current challenge. Minor surprise, we sort of thought that this might be the case. The current challenge is Darkseid Prime. It's a 1-week repeat. Required characters are Cyborg, Catwoman, and Black Adam, who are available as cheaply as bronze, and silver in the store. Darkseid's passive is Empower Minions. All bronze characters on Darkseid's team gain plus 300% health and damage. He's got 1050 attack and 1200 health. And when I say repeat, he was last available February 13th, 2020. And we last reviewed him on February 13th, 2024. So he's interesting. His stats aren't awful. Should be pointed out that when he was released, he had among the highest stats, to the point where the best defensive team for drawing fights at one point in the game was Shazam Prime, Godfall Superman, and Darkseid, because they had, as a threesome, the highest stats available in the game. Hard to believe. And as we now know and previously assumed, MP matchups are based on calculations using the stats of your team. So as you go higher up in a ladder, the stats of your opponents will increase. And when you have that handful of characters that have higher stats than everybody else, then a team made up of those high stat characters become the default matchup at the end of an ultimate ladder with any teams that are at or near the top. So despite this team having zero synergy, they generated a lot of defensive battle points, because even if you won only a small percentage of their fights, like 10%. In our best season, we won 10% of 1,000 fights. We would still have a huge amount of battle points just from leaving them around. And as we know, defensive battle points are worth more than offensive battle points when you win. A defensive win is worth more. Same battle points, but defensive win is worth twice as many battle points as an offensive win. And this was pre-augmentation and pre-breakthrough. So let's look at Darkseid. His passive. Empower Minions. All bronze characters on Darkseid's team gain plus 300% health and damage. That means their effective health and damage are 4 times what it should be on the card. And one thing to keep in mind, it doesn't work exactly the same way it would if you had just improved stats. So look at it this way. So the bronze Nightwing, who you're watching in this fight, his base stats are 210 attack, 210 health. If you quadruple it, that becomes 840 and 840. And that compares pretty favorably with Regime Black Adam, who's 750 and 750, only one of the weakest golds. But the problem is that the comparison fails after you do any kind of leveling up or promotion. So golds will increase their stats at a different rate than bronzes for promotions. If we go from Elite 0 as sort of your base 100%, when you hit Elite 7 on a bronze, you get to 240% of the base stat. When they're gold, you get to 500%. So they're double. And when you get to Elite 10 with a bronze, you get to 300%, but you're at 650 for golds. So that 300% of a bronze is about as much as you would get with an Elite 5 silver or an Elite 3 gold. And because we're playing with Nightwing that's Elite 7 and not Elite 10, we're working with even less than that. So basically, Elite 7 bronze becomes like a medium gold Elite 2, right? 240% is somewhere between the Elite 2 of 200% and Elite 3 of 300%. And the reason why that's a limitation, so if you max promote Darkseid and put him on a team with bronzes, it's going to be unbalanced. With Darkseid stats, which, like I said, when he was introduced, were already really high, Darkseid's stats are just going to be much more than his bronze teammates. So the main offensive threat needs to be Darkseid. On the other hand, because it is just a straight stat boost of both attack and health, Darkseid's bronze teammates get an increase in stats that act more like promotions than leveling up. Because as cards level up, the health stat increases faster than the attack stat. So if you level up from 1 to 50, attack goes up 5.8 times, and the health goes up 10.8 times. And if you go up all the way even to 60, then it becomes 6.3 and 12.8. So essentially doubling the increase. Health it doubles compared to the attack stat. So, again, it's a bit of a struggle to really make use of them. And one of the real problems is that Darkseid, as your main offensive star, doesn't work very well. His special 2 is reduced in half for having the damage over time effect. So it doesn't do a lot of damage. And not only that, he's one of those cards where if the opponent blocks, the last hit doesn't trigger. So not only is it half the damage, it's even reduced more if it's blocked. The wiki says the actual damage is a few percentage points higher than the stated amount. And you think damage over time should make up for it, but that's only if the opponent doesn't tag out and rinse the damage off. So the current team that you're watching with Nightwing, Hawkgirl as teammates is decently effective, but it relies a lot on Nightwing doing damage over time, which scales up to the opponent. He's getting damage over time from his gear, Ibis stick. And you're even seeing this team, even though Darkseid is still only Elite 5, he's promoted high enough that he outclasses Nightwing by a significant amount, even after the passive is boosting Nightwing stats. So it's less useful if you're going to really get the most out of it. If you don't have Darkseid already, if you're going to get the most out of him, you want to leave him at a relatively low promotion in order to get the fun out of his passive with a team of bronzes. And you won't get max multiplayer battle points, but yeah, it can be a little bit fun because besides playing with a lot of bronze at the beginning and maybe some of the early ladders in the challenge, it's more interesting to bring them into multiplayer, especially when we've got some gear to make it a bit more interesting. So this is week 13 since the end of the 4-year repeating challenge cycle and the new one, and we are still in uncharted territory. There are still 16 more missing challenge characters that may be potentially in the schedule coming up. And based on what's happened since Gaslight Batman came back after that absence of years, their new schedule has been alternating between the old 4-year cycle and sticking in a returning Lost Challenge character. So based on that, next week we expect to be Earth 2 Hawkgirl, who was normally the one that would be following New 52 Superman from a week and a bit ago. This week's multiplayer reward is Alien Artifact, which it becomes Mother Box. Its effects are, when maxed out, 28% max health increase, 30% chance to blink against special 2, and when max evolved, there's a 100% power drain chance at start of the match. Last available December 21st, 2023, and this is the beginning of the cycle. This is the 7th cycle. We've had 6 complete cycles now. So, unlike the challenge cycle, nothing is missing from multiplayer rewards. If the pattern holds, next week should be Cassandra Cain Batgirl. To us, this is not really a legendary piece of gear. Besides our bias being towards offensive gears, the abilities just aren't that great. I mean, the max health increase may be good compared to other health increases. You know, it's not bad. We don't like it. 30% chance to blink against special 2 became pretty much useless once the Tantu Totem was released. And in fact, when we fight, we look forward to seeing the Mother Box against our Justice League team, which you saw earlier this week during our Q&A, because during Special 2, if he blinks, New 52 Wonder Woman's got Tantu Totem, gets her power back, and then she can throw another couple bars of power and give her teammates even more from her passive. The power drain can be a bit useful, mainly because it works against the first slot opponent, no matter who on your team is holding Mother Box. So it doesn't have to be your first person. As long as there's anybody on the team holding Mother Box, it drains the facing opponent's power. But, you know, the way we set up our team, because we're using Tantu Totem and Master's Death Cart that require tagging to generate power, our main sort of offensive weapon is not going to be in front of the screen, so there's nothing that gets drained. And, you know, a full slot for that one ability, not worth it. There's only 9 gear slots, and there's just so many better things that you can fit on your team. So we said, based on the schedule, Hawkgirl Earth 2, or Earth 2 Hawkgirl, is going to be the most likely challenge character, and it's a corroborating clue when you see the Hawkgirl Earth 2 bundle for $24.99. That's Canadian dollars, only currency that matters. It comes with 100,000 power credits. It does not unlock her in your store, so save your money, wait for next week. You'll be able to unlock her and promote her with power credits instead of real money. New packs today. Oh, actually, before we get new packs, the repeating pack is the Character Bundle Flash TV. It's second week. We talked about last time, $24.99. The new pack this week, the other new pack this week is Metropolis pack for $24.99, again Canadian. It is Superman, Crypto Lex Luthor, and Doomsday. They are all available in the store, which makes this pack worth even less. What else? A bunch of packs that have been around for years. Not particularly worth mentioning. Phantom Zone is still finished. Fight 62 is still broken. Last weekend's breakthrough for golds was, as expected, Cyborg, Batgirl, and Black Adam. Coming weekends is probably going to be Deadshot, Wonder Woman, and Static. Link in the description to a thread in the Injustice Mobile subreddit from Devlin16 that goes over the complete breakthrough cycle. And this is where we normally talk about the glitches. And as far as the current glitches go, we will go into more detail every time something significant changes, which did not happen this week. But even if nothing changes, we still do a bit more detailed review once a month. First week of every month, and most recently that was a recap from July the 4th, 2024. You can also see a video tutorial for every working glitch in our playlist, Current Working Glitches, linked in the description of this video and in the eye in the top right corner. The main thing worth mentioning is that the challenge reset glitch has been confirmed to be working on this week's Darkseid challenge, and a bit of oral history trivia. Darkseid and Wonder Woman 600 were the first 2 challenges that we had started using the challenge reset glitch way back when the first time they came around, and I gave myself repetitive strain injury in both forearms doing the challenge over and over and over again and playing for hours thinking, never know when it's coming back, need to generate as much credits as possible, or not so much it's coming back, we don't know how long the glitch is going to last. And of course, this has been the most long-lasting glitch out of all of them. It's been around forever. Okay. And that's it for this week. So a huge thank you to our patrons on Patreon. That would be Michael Devries, Irvin Ruiz, Hoshi127, Nora Klimek, and Paolo-Cesar-Pablo-Juan, who are supporting us on the credited level, and 5x5, who is supporting us on the gratitude level. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.